Cavs have had a very up and down season so far. And this game was very much needed for the Cleveland Cavaliers. They have just had trouble for whatever reason up until this game, and we'll see what happens going forward. But they have had trouble, and it's odd that they're having this trouble in year two. But it seems like they're having more trouble integrating Donovan Mitchell and Darius Garland with each other this year than they had last year. It's really weird. It's really weird. Maybe this is just a coincidence. Maybe this is a symptom of something more, play styles evolving and then clashing with each other. I don't know what the reason is behind it, but I do know it is weird that we're running into these issues in year two specifically, when you felt like you've dealt with that earlier or last year, right? So that was a little weird, but that wasn't a worry today. Cavs had a great game from pretty much all of their key players, right? Like, I thought even Jared Allen didn't like kill the stats or anything. He had 8 points, 11 rebounds, but I thought that Jared Allen did a good job doing what he was asked to do, right? Rebound, put some shots back, play some defense. That's all you really wanted out of Jared Allen. That's all you needed out of Jared Allen. That's all he gave you in 20 minutes. I think that's fine for Jared Allen. 8 points, 11 boards in 20 minutes for Jared Allen. I'll take it. I'll take it. That's fine. That's fine. Evan Mobley, I thought, played a fantastic game. He was all over the floor defensively. He was all over the floor offensively. I thought he facilitated the offense pretty well when he was asked to. Played 37 minutes, went 8 of 12 from the field, 16 points, 5 rebounds. It's not going to be a night that stuffs the stat sheets and you're like, oh my God, it's such a great game by Evan Mobley. Look at the box score. But if you watch the game, you will be very impressed with what Evan Mobley did. Darius Garland had 26 points with 9 assists, 3 rebounds. I thought he was balling today. Pretty good player. We all know that Darius is pretty good. Donovan Mitchell finally had a good day from 3. Like, it's been a minute. I don't know. It's not a minute. He's had good days from 3 since the end of last season. But it seems like that last week of last season, or the last 2 weeks of last season. I know he had an injury pop up somewhere in between there, the last couple of weeks of last season. From there to like here, we've been getting very inconsistent shooting from Donovan Mitchell. More inconsistent shooting than you would expect. Maybe I'm tripping on that, but it just has felt that way with Donovan. It felt like a lot of those threes that were butter for him at the beginning of last season just have not hit with that same consistency. Well, that was not the problem today. 5 of 10 from the field, 4 of 8. Well, not I'm talking about Max Strus's numbers. 12 of 24 from the field, so still 50%. 5 of 10 from 3-point. 6 of 9. He missed a few free throws today. I was a little weird for Donovan. He doesn't usually do that. Had 4 turnovers, but 35 points and 7 boards, 6 assists. It was nice to see those two players play well. It was even nicer to see those two players play well on the court together. They still don't share the floor much, and I know they didn't share the floor a ton last year, but again, it felt like they shared the floor a lot more last year. I don't know. Maybe I'm tripping, but something feels off with the dynamic between Donovan Mitchell and Darius Garland this year. This game, not so much, but something overall has felt a little bit off. Let me know in the comment section if you've thought that throughout this year, that you felt like the dynamic between those two has not felt right. That doesn't mean bad, but it hasn't felt right. Let me know. I'm genuinely interested to know what you guys think, because I've been puzzled by my feelings of this, because there's not a lot there to suggest that there's something up between those two, but it just don't feel the same as it did last year. Like, they don't interact as much. You don't see the same camaraderie with the two that you saw last year. It just feels off. And it doesn't feel like they share the floor as much either. Just feels a little off. Paolo Banchero for the Orlando Magic. And by the way, if you have not been watching the NBA recently, the Magic are actually like a really good team. They're 14-7. They are a 500 road team. Cavs not as good at home as they were last year too, but that's a whole nother conversation to have another day. But yeah, the Orlando Magic pretty good. Paolo Banchero, like he is looking like a dude out there. Went 16-26, 1 of 5 from 3, but had 42 points on pretty decent efficiency. But that was pretty much it for them. I think they got 19 from Cole Anthony, and they got 14 from Franz Wagner. They didn't really get much from anybody else in this game. And they shot a putrid 2 of 23 from 3. Oh my God. I can't even blame that on defense, even though I'm sure the good Cavs defense had something to do with them shooting 9% from 3. And they shot 73% from the free throw line. Like, oh God, like nobody shot great from the free throw line. Both teams were under 80, but whew, that's bad. It's bad. It's bad. It's honestly shocking they didn't lose by more than 10 points. They shot 9% from 3. And maybe that's something we'll go back to, right? Where we look at it positive in a moment. You won this game, you beat a good team, and then you're going to be like, well, they had to shoot 9% from 3 for us to beat them. Like that stuff happens all the time. But still pretty good. Man, let's talk about Max Strus. Max Strus and Georges Niang, I thought both of those guys, the two main free agent signings of this Cavaliers free agency class, have really been putting in work recently. I mean, Max Strus has been doing it all year. He's such an important piece to this Cavs team as they're constructed right now. And maybe that has a lot to do with why it feels a little bit different between Darius and Donovan, but you would think it would help having another spacer in there. But Max Strus balling today, 5 of 10 from the field, 4 of 8 from 3-point, 3 of 4 from his field goals, 17 points total, had 6 assists, 5 rebounds. He's just been such a good signing. Such a good signing. And if Donovan and Darius kind of get to play like they did today together more often, I think you're really going to see some great things from that lineup. And I think there's a lot you could do with lineups with Max Strus in it because he just allows for so much to happen. He's been such a critical signing for this team. Georges Niang, I thought he played 28 real solid minutes in this game. The stats don't really show it because he was 4 of 7 from the field, 2 of 5 from 3-point. How many rebounds? 5 rebounds, 10 points. It's not like oh my God, look at the stat sheet game. But if you just watched him out there, I thought he was real integral to what the Cavs wanted to do. Isaac Okoro, I don't know, man. Like, it wasn't as bad as the numbers suggest. He played 29 minutes tonight with 0 for 4 for the field, with 0 for 2 for 3-point, and had a rebound and an assist and a steal. But he was plus 16 on the floor. So there's that. He ain't hurting it. I don't know, man. Like, I don't see where Isaac fits on this roster anymore. I don't know if I'm in or out of him as a player. I think he can be a productive player for somebody. My point with Isaac has always been, man, it just don't feel like he's going to be the productive player that we need him to be here because he's just not the player that we want him to be. I think the Cavs drafted Isaac Okoro thinking they were getting a 6'8", 3-and-D wing. What they actually drafted was a 6'5" defensive 2-guard. We don't have any room for that. So he ends up playing a ton of 3. And he stinks at 3, offensively at least, because he's not creative enough, not long enough to score on the wing. And he struggles defensively on the wing. I just don't see why he's still here because it doesn't benefit him or the Cavs to be here. And I like how he approaches defense. I like that he's real physical. I like his game. I just don't think his game fits here. I really just don't. And I think we continue to see more and more evidence of this as today. He got outproduced by Tristan Thompson today. In 6 minutes of Tristan Thompson. I don't know, man. Like, I don't know. Like, I just, again, this is not me trying to bash Isaac Okoro and call him a terrible player and say he's trash and all this. It's just, man, we want him to be somebody he's just not. He's a defensive two guard that should come off the bench and be in specific lineups, probably with a wing that can score. Like, Isaac Okoro makes no sense on a team where the only players that can score or will create are both point guard / two guards. He makes no sense on this team. Like, he needs to be on a team with the wing that can score, because that's the kind of lineup he could survive on. But if he's on a lineup and there's no wing that can score, he just clogs everything up. It doesn't make much sense. He ends up being open in the corner for a three. You feel like you got to take those shots because he's so open, but he's such a liability as a 3-point shooter at this point that nobody takes him seriously. So you end up just getting the paint more crowd. I don't see what he does for this team right now. And again, he's not a terrible player. He's just a terrible fit. And this is the thing with Kobe. And my one criticism of Koby Altman is it just doesn't seem like he has a good feel for fit. Like, I think he does have a good feel for talent. Like, you sign Max Strus, that's a talented player. You find guys like Craig Porter that could give you talent, like good minutes, talented players and all that. Like, I think he has an eye for talent. I think he has a horrible eye for fit. Like, I just don't think he has a great vision of how to put these talented pieces together in a way that makes a cohesive team. And maybe that means that the Cavs need to have a stronger coach who can impart that vision onto Koby Altman in order to refine that into something really, really good. But I find that to be the issue. Even before we did the Donovan Mitchell trade, they were doing the weird stuff with the 3 talls and 3 7-footers, and it kind of worked, but it kind of didn't because we had nobody to create, so we had to trade for Karis LeVert. It's just, we always run into these problems where we end up looking at the roster that Koby Altman built and asking ourselves, why are we built like this? And I don't know what solves that. Like, does a stronger coach solve that? A coach with a stronger vision than maybe JB Bickerstaff, who I think is fine. But again, I don't think he solves any of the problems that you get with Kobe. I don't think they complement each other very well. That's my only thought about the whole lineup thing. I got a lot of thoughts about this Cavs team. They've been up and down. It's nice to see them win, especially at home against a good team. We'll see what they do going forward. It's been a rocky start. Things have felt weird. I think we all can agree. This has not felt the same as it did last year. It felt like it was all ready to go. Right now, it feels like that playoff series really had an effect on this team. And we'll see if they can recover from that. But that's me. Let me know what you think. Y'all have a great day. Have an even better night. Peace.